I am a nurse, and I take pride in that. I do not say that my background is nursing. I am a nurse. I'm still currently registered. I have my license to practice as a elderly care, as we call it, elderly care nurse specialist and a nurse educator. And I have no big dream like Martin Luther King has, but what I have is a vision. What I have is my vision comes from my experience in working with older adults in the UK and my own personal culture where I came from in Trinidad and Tobago. And when I arrived in the UK in 1999, I went to work in an intermediate rehabilitation care setting. And within a year and a half, I couldn't understand why there was this emphasis on sort of separating or making adults over 65 years, who are 65 years and over, such a different part of the population. Where I came from, you're an adult at the age of 18 until you die. And when you're nursed on a ward with adults. You're not put in the pediatric unit, you're not put in the mental health unit, you're not put in the maternity unit, you're put in the adult unit. So I come to you today with a vision for change, a vision for what I believe is the last frontier of discrimination. People talk about racism, people talk about feminism, people talk about all sorts of isms. I'm talking about ageism. I'm talking about an inherent, entrenched attitude of discrimination for people as they grow older that is built into our psyche, and in many, many cases we don't know it, but it's absolutely part of our culture. And I go back to the gentleman, the gentleman who died, I can't even remember his name, who was in a nursing home, a war veteran. And in the newspaper they said he escaped. He had to escape. And that headline didn't strike us as giving the wrong message. Why does somebody have to escape from where they live to attend a ceremony that is so meaningful? So I hope to influence you. This session, these 2 days, are meant to inspire you, to raise the level of debate, and to encourage you and bring that enthusiasm to this. There's a sense of dissonance in our current context today. We're talking about long-term care in the 21st century. We're talking about demographic change, a phenomenon that has never occurred in the history of mankind before, that we are all part of, we have kicked off. Yet the only way we can articulate this is as in terms of crisis, in terms of challenge, in terms of what shall we do, in a very negative way. This is an opportunity for us. We are pioneers in this space, and this is our opportunity to change how we age and what we experience later life with complex conditions or not in the future. So why are we using a 19th century model in 2015, in the 21st century, when we can talk to our phones and our phones can talk back to us? When we can talk to our relatives via screen in New Zealand or wherever in the world they are, when I can change the heating or put on the lighting of my home in Evesham if I'm in London, when I can sit on the chair next to you and transfer money from one account to another, when athletes without legs are running faster than anybody else in this room can. We are in an absolute state of denial. I go to many events and I see people who obviously are in later life talking about them and the patients and older people. And the day we change our perspective on this and start to articulate this as me, I, we, us, ourselves, is the day we make that step forward to really understanding and changing the dynamics. There are people out there, carers out there, and nurses out there who are working really hard in the best way they possibly can, but we know it's not good enough. We know it's not good enough. None of us are sitting here looking forward to ending up in institutional care. If it's so good, you end up in prison. If it's so good, why do you end up in a care setting, an institutional care setting? We need to stop being in denial and face the facts and stop being gratefully accepting of what is not fit for purpose, not fit for the future. that's where we start to talk about disruption. And in some quarters, some of the terminology that I am using may not sit comfortably with some people. I know the word revolution did not sit comfortably. People are quite happy with evolution. And people are quite happy with, you know, let's refurbish this, let's renovate it. Yeah, but sticking plasters on sores, although I'm a nurse, it's not the thing I like to do. I like to jab things where it hurts the most. Yeah. So it's about disruption. It's about practicalities and doing something. For me, there are people who deal with policy. And when I first put this to Innovate UK, I said to them, look, I can't talk this business language that you talk. You people talk that language very well. I can't talk technology stuff. But I have a challenge. This is a problem that we are facing. And I want you to listen to me, and I want you to translate it into your language. And I know that innovation comes from different sources. There's different routes to innovation. One is wealth creation, which is what Innovate UK is about. The other one is business growth, which is what UK Innovate is about. But you brought me into this organization to give a perspective from the individual, from a humanistic point of view. So the root of innovation for me is here. It is love for my fellow human beings. It is love for my family and my friends. And it is about improving the human condition. So that's where innovation starts to me. So I say to you, this is how I see this challenge. And I ask you, all I can articulate is a vision for change. All I can do, and people say I do it very well, is inspire you. But I ask you to translate it in the language that you speak. How can we change this? How can what is Jackie saying become a reality? Yeah? Let us face the facts and take action now. And if we're not careful, if we don't change this dynamic, we will be moving along just like all those other individuals, thousands of them that I have nursed from all walks of life. And when you're stripped of your title, professor this or professor that, or director of this or director of that, or head of this or head of that, when you're stripped of all of that, and you are the man or the woman lying in bed sick, life is different. It is very different. We have the opportunity that generations before us never had. We have the opportunity to reinvent our future. In the next 4 years, 800,000 older adults will lack informal care. There is an imperative to act. We are here to catalyze innovation, to catalyze and spread the word for businesses and academics and charities and foundations and public sector bodies to begin to work with us. We are looking to fund development at 100%. Academics can lead as long as they're able to demonstrate a route to market. If you think that you're interested in this, if you have a project to fund, you have a project that you're working on, and you want funding, I would say to you, this is not the challenge for you. If you are looking to work with others from across sectors to come together and think about an idea that can disrupt this framework, this pathway to institutional care, and give people alternatives, give people desirable, dignified options for either remaining in their own home or an alternate way of looking after themselves in terms of long-term care, then this is the challenge for you. These are the related website links that you can get further information from. The deadline for application, this competition closes on the 2nd of September, and we expect projects to commence on the 1st of January. And these are my contact details if you would like to have a chat or further explore the scope of this competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.